What's up, dudes? Welcome back to Great Men Taking Over the World. I'm Ren, and today I'm gonna be talking about what the?
Hey dude, what game are you talking about today?
I was actually just about to talk about Shadow of the Colossus.
Shit, I love that game.
All right, let's do that again then, I guess. Welcome back to Great Men Taking Over the World. I'm Ren.
And I'm Sile, coming in from Los Angeles, California to review Shadow of the Colossus for the PlayStation 2. I remember that Ren had a poster, which is in the back, this kind of vertical format poster, that was just super epic looking. It had this Colossus, this beast, and sort of a small character at the bottom. And I remember that was like my first impression of the game. That's how I heard about it. And then I played. Ren got the game, and I played, I think maybe the first three, went through the first three Colossi, and you know, I was instantly hooked. I really dug the atmosphere. I thought just everything about the game was resonating. It was impressive, and I think the first thing I did was went in and got it, and truly it's one of my favorite games. In terms of games that follow narratives and that are sort of adventures, I think, like bar none, it's pretty much, it's the top.
So I found out about this game through a magazine, EGM. I saw like a picture of Wander riding on his horse across, like around one of the Colossi, and I was just like, whoa, this game looks fucking awesome. Like, it looked really epic, just like a giant ass Colossus, like bigger, you know, overshadowing this little character. And then I knew I just had to go out and buy the game because of like seeing the Colossi in action. Like, I mean, I saw the pictures in the magazine first, but then when I saw the video, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. It's one of those really unique games like that you don't get too often. It's I don't know, it's kind of like a storybook kind of thing, or a fairy tale or whatever. It's just mystifying, you know, enigmatic. Like, you know, you're going across the landscapes, and they're just, it's one of those games that you stop and you want to look around. It's so beautiful, just the way, like, you know, light is shimmering around. There's got this ethereal, eerie, sort of warm glow to the whole game.
One of the elements I really enjoyed right off the bat was there was no fluff in terms of like small enemies or like little things you have to collect. I don't know, I mean, I think every game that was kind of in the same light beforehand, like maybe Zelda's or something like that, they were all sort of focused on this collector element and all these little things in between the boss battles, and this was very bare bones.
It's kind of an empty game.
Very empty. There is like an isolationist sort of atmosphere, and you do feel very alone. You develop this companionship with your horse as a result.
When I saw the first Colossus, I was like, holy shit, it was awesome, dude. Like, he's like stomping around and the earth is shaking. You see those trees shaking when you see the first Minotaur boss guy.
First of all, you're overwhelmed, I think, by the size.
You know, there's like this big tower stomping around, and your like instinct is just like, for me at least, was like, take this guy down now, you know?
You're thinking like, holy shit, how am I gonna climb this thing?
So you got to figure out how to get on them, which is like a puzzle in itself. I thought that was awesome because it's different for every single one.
seeing them move and then like their reactions to you, and you know, they're slower, but it makes sense because it's kind of like a, I don't know, human to a fly.
And so, you know, you're climbing up, you're going around, you're jumping on platforms. They have like these little like indentations and platforms all on them, and you're grabbing onto their fur, climbing up. It's fucking epic as hell. They got this music blasting, awesome, intense, beautiful music.
You're super into it. The music is very epic. It's very appropriate for the situation.
And you're looking for their weak spot, because all of them have a weak spot, you know, because normally like a little guy can't fucking take out a giant like that. And so you find their weak spot and you start stabbing them, and all this blood's gushing out. It's like a geyser, and you're like, whoa, shit, oh shit. And then like, because you know they don't like that shit, they start, you know, wiggling around and flipping around, and the guy's still hanging on. The wanderer, the main guy, is like hanging on for dear life, and you know, you got this grip meter that's like depleting as the guy's swinging around, and you're just like, oh shit, you just want to fucking take him down, man. It's so awesome, it's so intense.
And like the game kind of does a switch on you, and it starts playing this sort of somber, more sort of depressing theme music as you have as you kind of bring this thing down, and
it's manipulative.
It's manipulative in a different way, because it forces you to think in a different way. You start thinking about kind of like, what am I doing? Like, is this good or is this bad? It's a bit ambiguous, because some of the creatures that you encounter, some of the colossi, are not necessarily even aggressive. So there's this element of, you know, it's not cut and paste good and bad, and there's no for sure like direction. You definitely start experiencing like.
I've got a question for you, Sile. Yeah. Would you consider yourself a pretentious gamer?
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretentious in all
aspects.
Yes, in all things.
Seeing as how you're from Hollywood, land of movie making, Shadow of Colossus is a very cinematic experience. Would you compare it to any films that you've seen in the past? Were there any precedents for it cinematically?
Por Chile, by Pasolini. I think it was from the 60s or maybe 70s. It had a very similar atmosphere. It had a sort of desolate landscape with this one guy kind of walking around. When it comes to the boss fights, any favorites?
The third one, the knight-looking guy with the sword, I think his name is Gaius. Him, just because he's like a really good representation of a colossi. He's like, you know, huge, towering. It's an epic fight. But also, I really like the water dragon snake thing in the lake. That's a really cool battle.
And then I think number one for a lot of people, I think is Phalanx, the sort of sky serpent thing. I think everything about that Colossus is just it's immense, and the environment is epic. It's in a desert, and you're running around, and you're on your horse. That one was like a hit in the face, because I really didn't want to, like, I was playing it and I was, you know, getting pissed off trying to get on top of it or climb it. But then once I finally finished it off, it was definitely a sort of bittersweet kind of sad moment, because I was like, why am I doing this? There's 3 or 4 left or whatever, and like I'm not even sure I think that's the game kind of challenging you in its own way.
Dude, the fucking music in this game, it's awesome. It's fucking awesome. Like that, it's just, there's like blood pumping music when you're on the Colossi. It's something I like actually even like to work out to. Like, my favorite track is probably Counterattack. I think they play that when you fight the sand snake and the flying sand dragon thing. Phalanx, I think he's called. The music is so epic. It's just so well composed. Like, the composer, you know, knew exactly what this game was about. He captured the essence of the game, you know, through the music perfectly.
And then also a track that is, I'm not sure if it's in the game but it's called Swift Horse, and it's a very sort of upbeat track. It reminds me of like riding in the landscape with the horse. What were your impressions of like the opening cutscene? I thought it was one of the best things I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Probably when I first played it, I was like kind of bored or daydreaming, maybe, just because I was like a dumb teenager guy playing it. But like now, it's like I watch it, it's like, damn, yeah, this is pretty cool. They don't really say anything, just the guy riding the horse through the land across the bridge. The bridge is fucking sweet and epic, dude. You see, it's like,
it really is.
I don't know if that architecture is actually sound in real life, but it looks cool for sure.
Yeah, and that's what you we were mentioning before. I think is. Sort of the game world itself is so like it feels like it was there before you got there.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be there after you. It's like such an
it's like
ancient
it's
looking
been there
place.
forever.
Yeah, and there are all these ruins and all this, you know, all these ancient cities and
yeah,
you know, it definitely feels old. I think that's an impressive thing that they could.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. Like seeing, it's like, whoa, like you go through the Colossi, the second small one, I forget what his name is, the other like
the lion one,
dude.
Yeah.
He like in that kind of city ruin area. I thought that was an awesome fight, awesome atmosphere, just because they're like, you feel like you're in this ancient land, ancient city. You know, it's like, whoa, you kind of wonder like, well, where do these guys come from? What's the story behind all this? And just kind of leaves a lot to the imagination, which I think is cool. Emphasizes the whole, you know, artistic aspect of this game. So the intro, it reminded me of Ico, guy riding a horse. You know, it's very mysterious. You don't really know what's going on.
My, I think, first and only experience with Ico was before Shadow of the Colossus. It's sort of the first game that Team Eco came out with.
Yeah, that was their first game.
Yeah, I think we rented it too. It was the two of us. We rented it. I think you fell asleep and I like started. Yeah,
I wonder if that's a reflection.
It was that good, right?
Yeah, it was that fucking.
But
good.
I think we were kind of young and you know, it was, the puzzles actually were kind of like trying to figure out how to release somebody from a jail cell or something, and that's
the whole style of the game.
A bit too complex, at least the engine or something about it. But yeah, definitely the two games I think have a very similar
style. But for me, it's kind of like a reverse Shadow of the Colossus, because Colossus emphasizing on bosses and shit, as in the other game is mostly enemies and no bosses except for the last boss, which I thought was kind of interesting. Those shadow dudes that you fight in Eco are very similar to those shadowy doorman guys that are released once you defeat the Colossi. There
was a project, I think, The Last Guardian.
The Last Guardian was supposed to come out for the PS3, and never did, and it's kind of just, I don't know, out there, but I don't really hear much about it.
Yeah, and that was, again, going to sort of push the boundaries of this engine, and, you know, I think a lot of people were excited. I was excited.
I was definitely looking forward to it.
Out. Yeah, I definitely had moments with certain Colossi that were kind of like, holy shit, I'm playing it for an hour and I still haven't figured out.
Right, you feel like an idiot.
What's going on? And what you need to do.
Right.
And kind of that process, I kind of envy first-time players.
Yeah.
Because they kind of go through the motions.
Yeah, and you'll never be able to experience that.
You'll never be able to experience
You always know how to beat them now.
Exactly, exactly.
Like we mentioned earlier, the sad music plays.
Yep.
It's like,
super sad.
It's like, oh man, I feel so guilty.
I know. It's
great. What kind of shit is that? And then like they like turn all black, and there's like some weird like kind of gooey tentacle shit starts coming
stuff
out.
that you always try to outrun.
Yeah.
And
you try to outrun it.
Some of the fights, like in water, especially, you almost like feel like you're gonna outrun
you're already
them,
so far away from them.
But they get you. And like another aspect of that is it's like game detail. Like those things sort of pierce you, and like the main character also you notice that the more Colossi kills, the sicker and like more diseased he becomes.
Yeah, because he's absorbing all that toxic looking shit.
It's kind of interesting.
Poor little guy.
What is the point of the game?
Is the point of the game, the basic story is that his girl, his lady, she's dead, and if he's heard that some kind of story, if he takes her to this land, that he can revive her there, and he goes to the temple, and this disembodied voice tells him what to do.
Yeah, I remember.
Right.
So it tells him to kill the
Exactly.
giants.
Right.
Kill
right.
the giants.
So once you defeat the Colossi, you go back to the temple, and you have these idols, these big statues that represent the...
Yeah, they fucking explode. After
They explode, and then the voice kind of tells you, gives you a clue of the next one, and you see the statue of the next one, and you're kind of like building this anticipation, this moment, like, whoa.
Yeah. You're like,
what's gonna happen next?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You start imagining what they might be like. And
Hey,
things
Sile,
like
I heard a story that you used to play this game every Christmas.
Yeah. It was so the first year, 2005, I think it was towards the end of the year I played it, and then the following few years I liked the game so much that like I kind of wanted to repeat this feeling.
You made it like a Christmas tradition for yourself?
Like a Christmas ritual?
Yeah, it was like a Christmas ritual. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
I was sitting next to the tree.
Oh,
the TV
nice.
was there, and I was playing it. And it was like a 3 or 4 day thing.
Did you play like late at night so you won't be bothered by
Yep,
anything?
exactly. It was kind of like watching one of like a favorite movie or
Yeah,
something.
good memories, good times.
Right, exactly.
That's
And
awesome.
did you have any brewskis along for the ride as you did this?
No, I didn't. I wasn't an alcoholic then. Yeah.
Sile's just kidding.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
LA humor. LA
Yeah.
humor.
Yeah.
As a movie person, Hollywood player, what would you think about Shadow Colossus movie? Because there was talks about that movie, but it's maybe not going anywhere. But what director who's currently working do you guys believe would be appropriate for the Shadow Colossus movie?
Good question. Maybe Refn.
Yeah, Nicholas Winding Refn. Winding Refn did the Viking movie Valhalla Rising that has a similar kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Probably a good
Or
choice, actually.
Jonathan Glazer that just did Under the Skin. That's a whole different topic, but I think Hollywood would totally fuck this game up.
What do you think about Terrence Malick? You think he'd be capable of pulling something off like this?
Terrence Malick, maybe.
He's
certainly the shot. I think the non-fantasy element shots. I guess totally. I think he can pull it off.
But you think his style's a little too fragmented? This game is much more like singular, long takes kind of thing.
I think his style could totally fit this game.
Right,
I think it's very flowy and
right,
dreamlike, and I think it fits the whole landscape.
What do you guys think about you with Bowl for this one?
Fuck yeah.
Grab some beers, man. Watch some Huey Bowl. That'd be dope, dude.
Oh, man.
I think so. I think it definitely is a good representation of art in a video game. There's a lot to be understood about it because it doesn't really just tell you what's going on. It's not a lot of exposition or anything like that.
Yeah, I think exactly spot on. I think it's the restraint. I think that's the it took for me at least. I think it took balls of steel to make something like this where they relied on this minimal sort of gameplay, and I think they pulled it off well.
And it was relatively successful too.
I think people
they did pretty good. A lot of people like it.
Certain people responded to it. Yeah, a lot of people said that it was boring and then it wasn't for them, which is totally fine.
I totally understand that they would do that. So like, what would you say? What would you give this game as a rating? I would give it like a 9 out of 10. It's a fucking awesome game. It's a true
9.0 out of 10?
Yeah, 9.0 out of 10. It's a true classic for PS2. I had to get the HD collection because I love it. It's a great game.
All right.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And Sile, what's your rating for
I would give this game, there are shortcomings, but I would give it a 10 out of 10.
Oh my god, perfect score.
I think it's
That's the first.
Is it really?
This is the
on the show.
On the show.
I mean, for this game, I think I'm very lenient. I think there are faults with it. I definitely found them, and I was pissed off plenty of times playing it, and I was not satisfied with certain like the ending maybe. Sure. But I think looking back, I think it's a very it's a statement. I think it's a game that made a statement, and
you wouldn't give it a 9.8. You go
No,
flat
I
out
do
10.
only 0.5.
Oh, you only
But,
do 5?
Yeah, I think, personally for me, it's a masterpiece. I think.
Wow.
Well done.
All right, fellas. So, thanks for joining us as we took this awesome trip down memory lane where we looked at Shadow of the Colossus, a real classic for the PlayStation 2.
A real masterpiece, in my humble opinion.
And so, until the next episode, guys, sayonara.
Adios, amigos.
For me, it's so rich with atmosphere and, fucking shit. Okay. Alright, so fellas, thanks for joining us down this trip of fucking shit.
Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.